and welcome to the Season 1 finale of Happening Now with me, Tim. It has been one of my life dreams to put on a show like this, and even though it's just a baby tiny show, the responses I've received from all of you over the last 15 weeks has left my heart full and my ego much fuller. Truly, honestly, thank you to all for watching. Now, on to the news. It was reported earlier this week that there's no way this is right. Rich people don't pay taxes? It's news to me. Anyways, an article written by ProPublica revealed that not only did the richest people in the US, people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Michael Bloomberg, pay either next to nothing or sometimes legitimately nothing in taxes over the last 15 years. I just need to really quickly stop to say this out loud. Can you believe I donated more money to a kitten with a broken leg that I saw on Instagram the other day than Jeff Bezos paid in taxes in 2011? The kitten's name was Crutches, and it was totally worth it. But what was most shocking about this was that all of it was, and I'm going to use these quotes as loosely as possible, technically legal. And here's the thing, once you get to a certain level of wealth, you can increase your personal wealth exponentially and not pay any taxes on those increases. Stuff like buying stocks, trading in for real estate, all of those, once those money goes up, your personal wealth goes up, but you're not paying on any of those increases. But the problem is that those loopholes in the system aren't in place for everyone to be able to dodge taxes. It's only the mega wealthy that receive that luxury. Just remember, no matter how wealthy any of them get, they are going to die just like the rest of us. On a completely unrelated note, not attached to that in any way, good luck on your space trip with your brother, Mr. Bezos. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, according to this article in 2018, the 25 richest people in the US were worth a grand total of $1.1 trillion. Now, to match that same income amount, it would take roughly 14.3 million ordinary wage earners. Yet, and I'll admit, I had no idea it was this bad. The 25 richest people in the world only paid $1.9 billion in taxes, whereas the nearly 14.5 million ordinary wage earners paid $143 billion. That's 75 times more than the wealthy paid for the same amount of income. A not so fun fact, as of October of 2020, there are 614 billionaires in the US. And just think of how much better this place could be if they were all forced to contribute the same amount that we do. As George Carlin once said, the reason they call it the American dream is because you have to be asleep to believe it. Moving to a slightly less depressing topic, let's dive into some of the bills that we're going to keep an eye on over the next few months that we're away. First is the H.R. 1 and S1 bill, otherwise known as the For the People Act, that's attempting to overhaul voter access, integrity, and ethics, amongst a bunch of other stuff, in an effort to protect voting rights for minority communities around the U.S. Seems amazing, right? Well, Senator Joe Manchin is, yet again, standing in the way of this bill moving forward in the Senate. Annoying, I know. However, there is another bill that he is in support of called the John Lewis Voting Rights Act that will help beef up protections for minority voters. But ultimately, it doesn't cover nearly as much as the For the People Act would cover. Because honestly, who likes having a comprehensive bill that would push forward a system of equality? But clearly not the government. Another big piece of legislation that will more than likely be voted on over the next few months is President Biden's infrastructure package. Though talks have ended directly with Republicans, there are still some negotiations going on with a bipartisan group from the Senate to figure out the scope of this bill and how they're going to pay for it. But ultimately, President Biden will push for this to be put on his desk sometime this summer, if possible. Finally, plan on seeing another vote on that January 6th investigation commission. I'm not sure if there will be any changes to it, or if Democrats just want to super put it on the record that Republicans don't want to investigate their own crimes. But Majority Leader Chuck Schumer seems pretty dead set on bringing that back to the table ASAP. So plan on seeing that too. And now for a Tim Time break. Finally, for our last story, we're going to discuss some of the issues that have been happening in each major party here in the US. It's no surprise to anyone that people in politics don't always agree. But we have reached a new area during these first few months of President Biden's term where it seems like neither party is getting along with themselves. You know, the inevitable end to ideologies that leave no room for change. I'll talk about Republicans first, as I think I can get through this pretty quickly. Probably not. What they need to work on is deciding if they're going to be the party of white nationalism or not. Pretty simple. They have, over the last few decades, basically since Reagan ran for office, really leaned into a very small niche of their base. But those moderates that were able to handle things like being against gay marriage are starting to fall away because, unlike in the 80s when all this started, there are now more negative social stigmas when it comes to embracing white nationalism versus being pro-LGBTQ+. Just on a quick side note, remember to make your company logo a rainbow so that everybody knows you're willing to do just about anything to get them to buy your product. You know, unless it involves paying your employees a livable wage or not donating to a politician that blocks equality legislation. I'm looking at you, every large company in the United States. And now for Democrats. Oh, Democrats. The only party in the whole world that can fight tooth and nail to get elected to office and hold the Senate, the House, the presidency, and still find a way to not get done. What they need to work on is a redefinition of the word moderate. Because as of right now, people like Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kristen Sinema of Arizona aren't looking like centrists, they're looking like conservatives. And if that's the case, then the Democrats don't actually hold a majority in the Senate. Instead, they just have the best relationship out of the two major parties with a two-person minority. And look, I like the idea of everyone working together to make something happen and to get things passed with 90 or hell, even 60% of people on board. But if the people you're trying to work with have literally no intention of working with you at all, like they themselves have admitted literally dozens of times. I'm not even joking you. Mitch McConnell said on Wednesday, he's like, bipartisanship is done. And Senator Joe Manchin's like, you know, I know he said that, but like, what if he's lying? And the answer is he's not. Then leave them behind. You're simply wasting your time waiting for people to help you that you know deep down do not want to help you at all. And maybe that's what you want all along. But don't be such a baby and avoid saying that. Go in front of your constituents and tell them, look, I'm willing to make sure nothing changes in your life for better or for worse. It's that simple. Other than that, both parties, totally fine. And that's our show. I want to first and foremost thank you all for watching this show over the last 15 weeks. It has really meant the world to me. And real quick, hey me, are we approved for a season 2? We are. Season 2 starts Friday, August 6th. Awesome! So exciting. Well, it has been an interesting first season. From our first show when we did a story on smartphone addiction, something I'm probably contributing to right now, to very difficult to talk about subjects like the Derek Chauvin trial, police killings, and mass shootings. All the way back to just countless segments on infrastructure and the filibuster. Two things I never thought I'd talk or even slightly care about. Also, I just want to say this before leaving. I know the news can be incredibly overwhelming at times, but what I've learned while I've done this show that I didn't know before is that in these dark times, there are so many people fighting to brighten it up. People like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all the way to Stacey Abrams, who's fighting for voting rights like you've never seen before, to the scientist in Germany that engineered a life-saving vaccine, potentially saving millions upon millions of lives, to Black Lives Matter organizers that are fighting for injustice, all the way down to ground workers that are using what free time they can to aid those in need all across the U.S. It's honestly overwhelming to think about, and I don't want to talk about it too much anymore, else I'm going to start getting emotional. But I just want you to know that when you get down, because the news can be really depressing sometimes, just remember there are good people in this world that care, and people that are fighting to make a difference. Hopefully, this is at least my hope, we can all get to a place where we're willing to take the time to make a positive change on a local, state, national, or even global level. Hopefully we'll all get there, and I'll try to lead that too. Otherwise, I have really hard left turn. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great summer. Get ready for season 2 on August 6th. You know, unless something comes out that I just can't wait to talk about, and then you may see a few mini-sodes between now and then. Or maybe I'll do none and I'll actually take a break. Who knows? Exciting nonetheless. All right, everybody, have a safe summer, and I will see you soon.